Hello everyone, Coming Clean here. A while ago I did a video about what I wish I knew before I started collecting Skylanders, and I wanted to do a follow-up video. The two games that people seem compelled to spend a little extra money on are Trap Team and Imaginators. Since I have more experience with Imaginators, I will talk about that game today. What do you have to buy to complete it to 100%? What should you buy and in what order? In this video I give you my take on all of those questions. I hope you'll enjoy it. There are a few things to keep in mind about Skylanders Imaginators, and you probably want to be aware of them before you start bidding on auctions, especially if you're on a budget. I can warn you right away that collecting everything for this game, even everything you need for 100%, will be very expensive. To complete the game to 100%, you will need a Sensei of each element and of each battle class, along with a total of 5 adventure packs that are in some cases unlocked by the Senseis themselves. There's really no need to buy everything at the same time, and I will now present things in the order I think players should get them. It may come as no surprise to you, but to play Skylanders Imaginators you need the actual game. Why did I even include this on the list? Because the different console versions of this game tend to vary very much in price, at least in my region. The 360 and PS3 versions will probably go for reasonable prices, but the Xbox One and PS4 versions are a different story and can go for $30 to $50 and sometimes more. You may want to settle with buying the game for the older consoles, at least until you find that PS4 version for the right price. Make sure, of course, that you get the right portal for the game you intend to buy. The second thing I think you should go for is a Sensei character of each of the 10 elements. This will unlock the Sensei realms in the hub world, which totals to quite a significant amount of game time.
Sensei water realm discovered.
These levels also sometimes contain hidden soul gem abilities for some of the Senseis. Even if you didn't get them with your game, you'll probably find Kingpin and Golden Queen for very cheap. Unfortunately, the rest of the Senseis rarely go for less than $15 to $20 when sold separately, and most likely even more. You should probably hunt for a bunch of them sold in bulk to start things off. In my What I Wish I Knew video I mentioned that research is key here, and that is because Senseis are not cheap. You will most likely want to avoid buying ones you don't want or need. For example, Taekwon Crow and Flare Wolf are of the fire element, but Taekwon Crow tends to be a little cheaper. However, if you think you will enjoy Flare Wolf's gameplay more, he's probably the one you should go for. Make sure to check out some gameplay footage if you are uncertain. Another example could be the life element. How awesome Boom Bloom and Ambush may be, if you for some reason manage to obtain Crash, who is also of the life element, you may want to settle for him since he also unlocks one of the expansion levels that we'll get to in a bit. Unfortunately, things aren't quite as easy, as you will also need a Sensei of each of the 10 battle classes, which is the third point on my list about things you should get for Skylanders Imaginators. I put them below getting a Sensei of each element, since the battle classes don't unlock an entire level. Through the campaign you will find Sensei shrines that can only be activated by a Sensei of a certain battle class. When activated, they unlock the Sensei's very powerful Sky Chi abilities for purchase. Each battle class you collect also unlocks abilities for the Imaginators that you can create. If you want to save money and not collect too many Senseis, it becomes a bit of a puzzle to keep track of which Senseis belongs to which element and battle class. You can always create an Excel chart to help you out, like I did. If you want to have all elements and battle classes represented in your collection, chances are you will end up with more than 10 Senseis, so keep that in mind. Okay, so after you have all elements and all battle classes represented in your Sensei collection, you can access everything on all story missions as well as every Sensei realm from the hub world. This will give you quite an amount of game time and also great replay value, since leveling up Senseis is definitely a lot of fun. There are, however, even more levels in the game. If you venture to the left of the starting point in the hub world, you will reach the area of the expansion missions, which brings us to the next point on my list about things you should buy for Imaginators, which are the cheap expansion packs. These packs include Griffin Park Observatory, Enchanted Elven Forest, and THUMPIN WUMPA Island that you unlock by placing Crash himself on the portal. These packs are only cheap in a relative sense when compared to the other two, which I'll get to in a bit. Griffin Park Observatory and Enchanted Elven Forest are two solid levels that are definitely up to par with the rest of the missions in the main story, but there really isn't anything special about them. But you do need them for 100%. I made a video a while back in which I shared my impressions about these two expansion packs. If you own the SENSEIS Airstrike and Boom Bloom, you may however feel compelled to pick these packs up since they are the only way to obtain the soul gems for the characters. In my opinion, THUMPIN WUMPA Island is a much better level pack. It's longer, more varied, and it has also got a more engaging narrative and a unique music theme. The music is copyrighted, but take my word for it, the soundtrack is great. All these packs will probably cost you somewhere between $10 to $25 each, and picking them up is probably the most logical step to expand your collection after collecting all the senses you want. The next point on my list may be a bit surprising, but I think that the characters and vehicles from Superchargers are a great choice to pick up for Imaginators. Provided you didn't already own them, of course. You can access several of the races from the Superchargers game in the Imaginators, including the ones you unlock with the trophies. All these races and challenges will not count towards your progression in the game, but they are very enjoyable to play. And since Supercharger characters and vehicles are cheap compared to Sensei's, buying them is a great way to extend your time with the game. Also, even though many of the Skylanders from previous games have been nerfed in Imaginators, I think that the Superchargers are generally strong enough to be viable to use. And now we are on the last point on my list about things you should buy for Skylanders Imaginators, and here I have put the expensive expansion packs. These packs include the levels Cursed Tiki Temple and Lost Imaginite Mines that you unlock by placing the Sensei's Robo and Wildstorm respectively on the portal. The reason I put them last is that they are usually very expensive. We are talking $100 or more for each character. You do need them to 100% the game, but you will get a lot more bang for your buck by focusing on the earlier points on this list. I want to be clear that I don't own these levels, so perhaps they are enjoyable enough to be pushed further up on the list. Please let me know in the comments if you think so. So, to sum everything up, the things I think you should buy for Skylanders Imaginators and in which order are: Number 1, the game itself. Pick a version for an older console if you want to save money. Number 2, a Sensei of each element to access every Sensei realm on the world map. Number 3, a Sensei of each battle class to be able to access the Sensei shrines and unlock abilities for your Imaginators. Number 4, the cheap expansion packs including Griffith Park Observatory, Enchanted Elven Forest, and THUMPIN WUMPA Island. Number 5, characters and vehicles from Superchargers to simply race and have some fun. Number 6, the expensive expansion packs including Cursed Tiki Temple and Lost Imaginite Mines, if you have a couple of $100 left in your budget, of course. I realize now that I almost forgot to mention the creation crystals that you can use to create your own Imaginators. This feature is quite comprehensive, but depending on how much you like it, you're going to have to put Imaginator crystals on the place on your shopping list that you see most fitting. Please let me know in the comments if you have a different opinion about in which order you should buy stuff for Skylanders Imaginators. That is it for this video. You'll find links to some of my other videos about Skylanders Imaginators in the description. If you do me the favor of subscribing to my channel, I will do you the favor of providing you with content every week. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Kameclean and I will see you next time. Take care.